The Arab American community needs to be reminded and cannot forget. He wants to ban Muslims, he wants to deport Muslims, and he wants to start internment camps. And that's what we are busy talking to every voter. He's telling you what he's going to do. Believe him.
Internment camps?
Yes. He has talked internment camps. You know what, Jake? You may have to visit me in one. I get worried enough when he talks about what he's going to do to his political enemies.
Okay, on yesterday's episode of The Lead, Democratic Representative, of course, Debbie Dingell, told Jake Tapper that Trump was going to send her to an internment camp. But unfortunately, she's far from the only pundit and lawmaker who's panicked about the possibility of being thrown in prison or an internment camp should Donald Trump get elected for a second term.
In this video, we're going to check out Anna and Cenk on the Young Turks arguing with each other. I expect her to leave the Young Turks at some point in the near future and start her own thing. That's what I anticipate. This election may break them and expect to see her on her own in the future, which I look forward to. You know, I used to watch the Young Turks quite a bit back in the day before I really got active with this. I'd probably say like 2012 to 2015. I mean, I watched the Young Turks. They weren't terrible back then. I mean, 2010 to 2015, Young Turks. Okay, maybe 2013, Young Turks wasn't crazy. I mean, they weren't over the hill. Some of their cultural and social stances I agreed with. Some of the stuff that they said I agreed with. It was crazy. That was a different time. You know, that was, 15 years ago. 10, 15 years ago. But, I used to listen and agree with them. And then right around 2014, 2015, political climate started to change. As soon as Donald Trump was injected into the scene, they absolutely lost their minds. I mean, they were always, towards the, oh, poor me, poor black people, poor minorities, oh, we got to save them. They always had that white knight shit going on. I just kind of ignored that. I listened to them and watched them more for just the social stuff, cultural stuff. They would take down dumb stuff that happened in sports and, people clutching their pearls and being strange. And, I agreed with some of the stuff that they would say. But Anna has really broken lately. She's broken hard towards the middle. And she just the people on the left that have been following them forever say that she lost her mind and she's crazy. Maybe I'll cover that. But I was going to cover a video where Anna's on a podcast doing an interview talking about why so many people have abandoned the left. And I'm going to cover that as well. But we're going to check out a Black conservative perspective video, him covering it and see what they say and really talk about the fake outrage and what is this that. What did this woman just say? What did Representative Dingle just say? Trump is talking internment camps. She said the words. Yes, when Tapper was like, "Huh? What do you mean internment camps?" Yes, she said, quote, "Yes, he's talking internment camps." Now, bitch, where? What?
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
You expect me to believe that?
I don't. No way.
Come on, no way.
You expect me to believe that?
Yeah. This is the descent into fascism, if we so choose. Normalizing January 6th, it's a day of love.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest.
Christine and Laura, what you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night.
It's the day of love. I'll say it again and again and again. Normalizing enemy from within. I'll say it again and again. I'll say it again and again until you get tired of it, until it's not so funny anymore, or you think he doesn't mean it until you realize he does mean it and it's too late. Saying these strict abortion bans are a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you kidding me? We got to wake up. And here's the good news, because I come with such dire warnings, and I mean them from the bottom of my heart as a daughter of refugees who came here escaping war, came here for America, to be a part of a democracy, to be a part of building something beautiful where they could be free. I'm telling you, the good news is that I believe women will be the beacon in this election.
Is when she sees deodorant. I'm not buying it. As God said, when the ones tried to sneak past the gates into heaven, it ain't happening, honey.
and I'm an immigrant and a child of immigrants, and I'm telling you that I just whenever the fascists do you buy that? Do you buy that shit from Mika? I don't know. She's gotten a little bit better at her acting over the years. You still don't see any tears. You know, she huff and puffed there like she was gonna blow your house down with some tears, but no tears came, and she never cried. She never did not. She using that choky female voice to try to curry favor from the men to try to get us to go, oh, you know what? We will vote against our interests, which is every single policy of Kamala's is basically against my interest. I'll vote for you because I need like women are sad. What? Um, yeah, that's not gonna fly. You know, it's just not gonna work. It, and then how do they get away with this stuff? You're not allowed to change Trump's words, and you can make it seem a little bit less than what it really is, because then what do you do? Look what you do on your station constantly. That's all you guys do is lie. Mostly peaceful protest. But everything is your bias is so crazy. It's I don't know. I don't know how any find me the video of Trump saying he's gonna put Congresswoman Dingle in a internment camp. I mean, they're desperate, but I feel like they're going to lose on purpose. I feel like they're not trying to win. I feel like the deep state has conceded, and they're allowing Donald Trump to take power, and I fear on why they would allow that, and that's my biggest fear. I feel like Trump is going to win, or it's going to be down to the app. It's going to be two electoral votes between the two of them, and then it's going to be up for everyone to go crazy debating it, and then we don't even know what's going to happen yet with the vote taking longer than the single day. We've never had that ever except for the pandemic, but they're going to pretend like it's normal now not to know who the president is the night of the election. I don't know. Let's see what else they say.
Am I losing my mind in feeling that this hyperbolic rhetoric is not helpful?
Yeah, well, 50-50 in my opinion.
All right, guys, we got to talk about this fascinating clip on TYT between Cenk Yogurt and Anna Kasparian. Anna is somebody that we know is going through a political evolution, okay? She no longer is on the left, according to her. And I personally think that she has been listening to at least a few voices of reason that have been helping her with her political journey. Take a look.
Want to win these voters back? Then you have to listen to what they're saying. You have to genuinely be curious about what their concerns are. And so here is a Black conservative. He hosts the Black Conservative Perspective on YouTube. His name is George Foreman. And he recently covered this interview. And I thought what he had to say was pretty interesting. So take a look.
I encourage people to get out of this very low-level thinking of what is X politician going to do for me based off my race, okay? It's just not a productive conversation, okay? You want to know the Black agenda that Trump has? You want to know the Black agenda from Trump, okay? Since Black people want to talk about what are you going to do for me? No tax on tips, which you have a lot of Black people working these service jobs that rely on tip wages. Okay, like for example, they always want to use the stereotypical Black barbershop, right? You know, barbers, hey, tips go a long way for barbers, okay? I'm not sure why every barber in America isn't telling all of their customers, hey, vote for Trump, okay? Because it's gonna help me out a lot. Paying less taxes, no tax on overtime. You have a lot of Black people working jobs where you're eligible for overtime, closing the border, mass deportations. Yeah, I think that's a lot, right? That's a whole lot of money being put into Black people's pockets, okay, from the Trump agenda, right?
Yeah, I listened to Black Conservative Perspective quite a bit over the last 6 months or so, over the last year or so. I've watched him quite a bit, and I totally agree with him. He's totally correct. I mean, not to mention the HBCU funding that Trump did. I mean, he's one of the few people that are willing to sit down and have a conversation with you about what needs to happen for a community and what needs to happen to try to work towards those goals. The Democrats have those talks, but they're very disingenuous and fake about it. Trump actually does what he says and has proven to do so, where the Democrats have not. Unfortunately for them, they don't really have a track record of doing the things they say they will. And then the stuff that they do end up doing is stuff that we never wanted to begin with. So I got a quick question though for the Black people out there. I'm really curious because I don't go to barbershops. I don't get haircuts all like that. You know, what are there black barbers out there in little barbershops across the country that are getting tips and reporting that to the government? Be honest with me now. Tell me in the comments. You go to black barbers, you they're claiming those tips whenever you pay them for a service and you give them a 20 because he did good or whatever it is, or you're hooking your boy up or whatever. What you think is what percentage of black barbers do you think are reporting their tips and paying taxes on them? I don't know. I'm just curious. And it goes all the way across the board. There's just not a lot of white barbershops that are considered barbershops like that, but I know there are some. So just generally, just in general, barbershops are they paying whenever someone gives you $5? You go pick up your car at the dealership and a kid washed your car nice and is drying your wheels off when you pull up and you give him a 5. Do you think he's going to the government saying, "Hey, government, I'm a car wash guy that makes, $10 an hour, and this guy gave me $5 as a tip to hook me up, and I just want to make sure I pay my taxes on it." Just be honest. I mean, tell me. I mean, people reporting their tips. Okay.
So clearly, Trump's messaging on immigration is having an impact. And I do think that Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, of course, sending migrants to liberal cities like Chicago has actually had an impact, along with the messaging from Trump.
Yeah, so I want to be clear. I do not think that Anna Kasparian is a fan of Trump at all, to be honest with you. But she doesn't have to be, okay? I'm not one of these people that get upset because everybody doesn't like Trump, right? I understand Trump is some people's cup of tea, and for others, he's not, right? But there's a difference between being like, hey, I just don't like Trump, right? Versus losing your mind over the thought of Trump becoming president of the United States and boohoo whining and crying fascism and Nazi, when clearly Trump is not a fascist, he's not a Nazi, and using this hyperbolic rhetoric that clearly is not good for our modern political discourse, which is essentially the argument that Anna Kasparian is going to make to Cenk in criticism of Democrats basically going on national television claiming things like, for example, that Trump is going to lock them up in internment camps. You have Mika Brzezinski boohoo whining and crying, essentially claiming that Trump is going to kill women. Again, hyperbolic claims that never happened under the first Trump administration. They're not going to happen in the second Trump administration, but they're just saying these things because they don't want Trump to get elected, right? So they'll just say anything in order to prevent him from winning. And Anna is essentially going to call out the Democrats for doing this, and Cenk is going to lose his mind over Anna simply just saying that, hey, I don't think it's a good idea for Democrats in the left to continue to call Trump a fascist. Take a look.
So,
okay, future me checking in. I had to stop. It was Halloween, which is also my wedding anniversary. I been married 18 years as of this past Halloween. So, yeah, I got a little bit busy yesterday. So our anniversary is always real busy because of the Halloween aspect and having kids. We didn't really think that through when we were young and stupid and got married. But anyway, got a little bit off topic in the last one. I had to regroup here, but I totally agree with Mr. Foreman here. Everything he said so far is just nail meat hammer. That's pretty much it. In this clip, and I'm telling you, as I know I said earlier in this video, I really expect Anna in the following year or two to really branch out and do her own thing. She cannot sit on this panel. Watch this. Watch this.
When Debbie Dingle says he's going to start internment camps, he never said that. That is not helpful. On that, you're 100% right. Because once she says something that he didn't say, then not only the right wing, but independents will discount every other thing you've said. Not just every other thing you've said, but every other thing that anyone on the left has said. He never said internment camps. Don't say that.
And the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator,
Sure, you can say want to be dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
First of all, his entire cabinet had to threaten, not cabinet, administration, his White House team had to say, we're all going to mass resign if you roll out tanks against American citizens.
Okay, so if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a difference between somebody shooting someone, that's fascism, and saying, I disagree with them. Don't elect a fascist prick who says only white people are awesome and everybody else is garbage and should be banned. No, look, I'm not gonna take a chance with a monster like that.
I know, you're focusing on whether or not you're gonna vote for him. I don't give a damn about that, and that's not what I'm asking you about, Cenk. I don't think that this rhetoric, especially from elected members of Congress, is helpful at a time.
I don't agree.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, Anna, why do I not agree? Because, so Trump's helpful rhetoric?
No, his rhetoric is awful.
Okay.
Be more articulate when you speak to the children.
Yes, sir, I will make better mouth.
Okay, if you don't want to be called fascist, stop saying fascist things. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Not that hard. Oh, here, let me have dinner with Nick Fuentes, who's a Nazi, Kanye, who's a Nazi, and let me say there's good people on the Nazi side. Oh, it could be pro-Confederate guys. Might be guys who are pro-slavery who are good guys.
Cenk is flustered. What is he What is he blabbering about? He's emotional. He's an emotional mess. Of course. Dude is a mess. He's perpetrating the good people on both sides myth that was debunked over and over and over again. Talking about internment camps. He even said it's not helpful, and then he had to double down. He's so emotional, he couldn't allow Anna to make a point, and even a single point, and say that the Congresswoman Dingle's comments are not helpful. He even said at the beginning they're not helpful, and then soon as Anna stoked up his rage and anger, he immediately started calling Kanye West a Nazi. He just went nuts with pro-Confederate people. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. Kanye West is a Nazi. He just sees Nazis marching in his nightmares and his dreams. Dude is he's just nonstop Nazis everywhere. What is he talking about? The scary part about Cenk is, like, he seems like the type of person that genuinely believes the stuff he's saying. That's the problem I have with Cenk, which is a little bit different than like Congresswoman Dingle. When I listen to her say she's going to be in an internment camp, she's lying. She doesn't believe that. Whenever she says it, I don't know. What do you guys do? I don't know what you guys do for a living, but I know what I used to do for a living, or maybe I still do that for a living. I don't know. But you know, I read people. Do you read Congresswoman Dingle as a liar and someone that's disingenuous and someone that's not believing the things that are coming out of her mouth? Because that's what I read. It's very obvious. I mean, that's like level 1 reading people, is she doesn't believe what she's saying. Cenk, unfortunately, does believe some of the things he's saying. I think his emotions get the best of him, and he goes off the cliff with hyperbolic nonsense, which is what Anna's trying to get him not. So Anna's reactions all of her, Cenk huffing and puffing and gasping for breath, and struggling to form words and mixing his words together. You hear how many times he mixed words together and like improperly spoke because he was so emotional. I mean, I wasn't gonna highlight every one. I was gonna go through and edit them all together to him going, "Do you think Trump's rhetoric is better if it isn't?" Like, Cenk, calm down, collect yourself. You're pushing Anna straight off the end of that bench. So I'll wrap this up here because my videos have been getting too long because I run my mouth too much. But yeah, Anna is gonna leave. This rhetoric is wild. Do you guys believe, like, Mika Brzezinski? I don't believe she believes what she's saying. She can't shed a tear. She can't be genuine with her emotions. So all that fake crying nonsense doesn't work on me. Anna is I can't believe she's turning the corner. It's just, she really can't stand it. George Foreman, check out Black Conservative Perspective. The links will be in the description for TYT's video, or for George Foreman's video, a Black Conservative Perspective on TYT. Check him out. Of course, if you never heard of him, I'm sure you've heard of him. If you're watching me, chances are you watch Black Conservative Perspective. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get another one going here. I'll get a couple more videos up today. I got a doctor's appointment in a little bit, but we'll get a couple more. I'll get some shorts up and we'll go from there. I don't know. What do you think? You think this stuff works? Who does this work on? Who do you think this works on? Does it work on some people? The fake crying and the I'll be in an internment. He's gonna go into kicking Congress's door and just say that half Congress that's Democrats. You go to the internment camps. Is that what you think is gonna happen? Okay. Alrighty. Enjoy.